back in the room. And if you're wondering where Paul is, he will be along in just a minute. There was a bit of a recording snafu, and I lost that bit of video and audio. So anyway, so you'll just have to bear with me while I do the intro for him. So let's go to a place where the distractions are landmarks and the detours are on the main roads. Welcome to ADHDville. We'll be here in just a minute. You'll just have to bear with me while I somehow make my way through this intro on my own. It feels really weird. It's really weird. All right, well, in a minute will be Paul, and he was diagnosed with ADHD a couple of years ago. And I'm Martin West, and I was diagnosed with a combined ADHD poo-poo platter in 2013. So, by the miracle of podcast editing, let's bring Paul back. Swim, wim, wim, wim. All right. So this is your subject, Paulio. Why don't you lead the way?
Yeah, I've actually got some structure, Martin, this time for once. Okay.
All right.
Talking about the sensory aspect of books and bookshops. Then we're going to go to the other stuff, like how books were related to different parts of your life cycle, your lifespan, your life.
All right.
Okay. So so there's some sensory aspects, right, of books and bookshops. Or you could also include libraries if you want. There was a thing I discovered a thing about the smell of bookshops, right, Martin, comes from a thing called volatile organic compounds, VOCs, that are released by the combination of paper, ink, and glue. And these compounds can produce subtle calming effects similar to aromatherapy. For example, vanillin, a compound in aged paper, and has a scent similar to vanilla, which is known to reduce stress and anxiety. There's an actual link between the smell of the books actually having a calming effect to our mood, as it were, right?
All right.
Also triggering positive memories, like you go back to your childhood. They're called Proustian memory, okay, where smell triggers wild, emotional, rich memories. Okay. Then,
all right,
being in a book-filled environment can signal a learning mode in your brain that subtly encourages concentration and mindfulness. Right?
You know what? I have said that, or at least I feel like when you walk into a bookstore, you feel instantly smarter. Like as soon as you go in, you are smarter than you were when you were on the outside. And you know what? That made me think. If you did a test, right? If you did a test inside a bookstore, I reckon you would score higher in a test if you did it in a bookstore than if you did it in a boring room.
Well, it's a bit like
if you're following on from last week about hats, if you were wearing a hat in a bookstore,
about to say the same thing. Yes,
you do really well. That's the secret.
I was just about to say the same thing. It's basically finding ways to trick your mind into pretending that you're smart, right?
Yes.
Well, because we are, obviously. Yeah.
Right.
So I can remember, Martin. Let's go into like phases of our phases of life, right? I remember when I was about 7.
Hang on. Whoa. I haven't finished with the whole sensory thing.
Oh, okay.
The whole sensory thing. That's a whole subject all by itself. Which is what you're describing is like there's old bookstores, right? They have that kind of that sort of vanilla, dust, leather, wood. Kind of vibes to it, which is gorgeous. I mean, who doesn't like walking around an old bookstore? And then there's a a new bookstore
Yeah.
vibe, smell,
Yeah.
sensory thing, which is totally different. Where you kind of get these kind
Yeah.
of like fresh
Big difference.
paper smell, fresh ink,
Well,
fresh
think of
glue.
the
It has
difference.
there's kind of
I like
two
the
very different.
yeah, two different vibes. I like the kind of independent store kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Think the bookshop in that film with oh blimey, um, where there's oh god, based in London, but it's with the
well,
American actress.
I don't know. I don't know. But while you're thinking of that, I'm thinking of Foyle's
Oh, Notting
bookstore
Hill.
in
Think
London.
Notting
Oh,
Hill.
okay.
And there's a bookshop. It's like it's almost the bookshop is like a protagonist in that. Think of that kind of scale. You go in there, it's like it's like for an ADHD person, these environments that are like full of of potential stimulus, right? It's like spark your mind and curiosities and wonderment, adventure.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah. So I was just saying that you've been to Foyle's bookstore in London, right? It's in
Yes, yes,
Charing
yeah,
Cross. It is
yeah,
a big old bookstore. There's like 5 floors.
yeah,
There's about 100,000 books in it, and you can
yeah.
get lost in it. I mean, like
Oh,
you
totally.
can literally just lose your way in the
Yeah,
shelvings of the
totally.
books. It's like sort of some crazy Hogwarts
And it's
library.
got a fantastic cafe slash bar in the middle there. It's like almost quite difficult to find, and they have like jazz evenings. It's like jazz music in there. You can go there and like listen to concerts. Well, amazing place, amazing. But because it's
Right.
old, so like the more modern bookshops, are like on 5 floors, like Waterstones in Piccadilly, it doesn't quite cut the mustard. It's not the same vibe. I like it.
No,
I can enjoy
not the
it,
same. Not the same.
but it's not the same. Files is phenomenal. Just round the corner from Denmark Street, where you would probably go and buy yourself a harp or a banjo or a guitar. It's right round the corner.
I get all my banjos and harps from Denmark Street in
Right.
London. You know
I
what?
remember once there was a tourist
There's
asked me
like,
directions to Denmark Street, and I sent them to Tottenham Court Road by mistake.
of
Oh
course,
yeah, mate.
of
Left and go
course.
right, and then
You-
straight on for about 2 miles. It was actually I thought, oh no, I heard Tottenham Court Road, but what they said was Denmark Street, and it's literally like 30 seconds walk from where they asked me. I sent them in the opposite direction.
Right.
Oh God, I still feel bad
Yeah.
about that.
No, I
Clearly,
know. You still feel bad about it. That's funny. I feel slightly angry about the time I was working in. I mean, I worked in Manhattan for years, and I was just out on the sidewalk, and I'd been there for a long time, and someone came up to me and said, "Oh, where's a Spring Street?" And I knew exactly where it was. I went,
yeah.
okay, mate. Yeah, you just go down, and it's about 4 blocks
Mm,
down
mm,
on the left. And went, oh, okay, thanks. And then he walked up to someone else and said the exact same thing. Like he walked
yeah.
about maybe 6, 7 foot, and then asked the
Oh,
person the exact same. It's because I had an English accent. He didn't
oh, there
trust
you
me.
go.
He didn't trust
Yes,
me at all.
yes.
He had
I
to go
get
and
that.
ask someone else.
I
Anyway.
get that in Italy. People like stop. I had someone stop in their car. I was walking along, and I had my dog with me. So, oh, he must be a local, right? So he stopped, wound down the window, and where is such and such? And I was talking to him, giving precisely, and he's looking at me like I was talking Swahili. I said, no. Like my
Mhm.
mum, bless her, if she heard a Scottish accent, she would just look at them like, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. But she never tried to understand them.
Oh, blimey. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like
Anyway,
I mean,
So
I've
to
back
bookshops.
to
I've
foils,
got a
because I
list
was going to say
here
foils of.
I've got a list of like
I want to
potential
do.
sections of foils,
Oh, okay. All right, go on then.
right?
Go on then.
Okay, so this is where
Yeah,
I used
yeah.
to get quite interested. Sometimes you used to like, oh, haven't got time. I'll go straight to the section of foils or whatever big bookshop it was, and get cut to the chase, get to the section you want to. But if you had more time, think, oh, what if I try a different section, a section I've never gone to before? So I looked it up. I asked
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT actually to give me potential interesting sections of a bookshop. Okay, here's my list: ornithology, feminist
All right.
politics, experimental cooking,
Okay.
occult,
Mm,
esoterica, and mythology. Okay, mind hacking and
that sounds
cognitive
good.
play tick,
All
Afrofuturism
right.
/ indigenous sci-fi and fantasy. Right? Then
Nice.
miniature and
Indigenous sci-fi and
pocket
fantasy, like it.
fiction. Miniature and pocket
All
fiction.
right.
Last but not least, but there were more, but this is one.
Miniature fiction.
First editions and rare finds.
Lovely. Well, they
Interesting.
all sound like
Nice.
interesting
Yeah.
subjects. There is. I have to give a shout out. When I lived in Portland, Oregon, um, there is a bookshop there called Powell's Bookshop, and it's the world's largest independent bookstore. It covers
Oh,
an
okay.
entire city block.
Wow.
So whereas Foyles had 100,000 books, Powell's has over 1 million books. So
Wow.
that just gives you how big
Right.
this bookstore is. You
Right.
thought
They
Foyles
probably
was
have.
big. Powell's is like,
So their section on
it's amazing. And
Afrofuturism and
yes,
indigenous sci-fi fantasy was probably a whole shop. In fact, in normal
exactly.
terms
Yeah,
scale.
yeah. No, it is a huge
Wow, that
store
sounds great. You get lost in
that
there.
I got completely lost in. Oh yeah, yeah, no. I was hopelessly lost. I think honestly, when you walk around, you're mostly bumping into lost people. Like we're all
Yes.
just lost. You know what I mean?
Or
I,
potentially, if you're in the
I
right
should,
section,
yeah.
potentially you could bump into your tribe. If you went into like,
What
oh,
a
I'm going to go
whole
back to
tribe of people?
Afrofuturism, there's a good chance you find like-minded people.
Maybe. I tell you who does scare me in bookstores. I have people who work in bookstores.
Mm,
I feel intimidated by them because for
yes,
some reason I feel like they've got a major in English lit, right?
yes,
And they know all the books, and
yeah,
and I go and pay for something, say, and then they sort of like
hmm.
judge me on the books that I've chosen.
Isn't there a word for that?
You
Isn't there
know
a
what I mean?
description for
It's
people like that? There are people that are bookly or something. People that are something bookish,
I know, but it probably starts
bookish
sort of a
people, bibliomaniacs,
yeah,
bibliophiles.
sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's probably them. Yeah. So yeah, they kind of scare me, but I do like being in a bookstore, and it's the same as a
Yeah.
stationery store. You know, like when you go in and there's
Yeah,
lots of
totally.
very similar things.
Yeah.
It
There
kind
used to
of
be a
makes me
massive
excited.
stationery
Makes
shop
my
in
ADHD brain.
there used to be a massive stationery shop in Tottenham Court Road. What was it called? It was huge. I think it was on the second floor. There you could find every type of paper you could possibly imagine. It was immense. It was oh god, that
Right.
was amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Um.
Um Also,
books.
good places to, if you're
I love
single,
buying books.
good place to potentially meet your future, soulmate. Good place to go and
All right,
yeah, I'm
in the
single.
experimental cooking section.
Yeah, I don't know if they do it, but I can
Um,
imagine a big bookshop they could have singles evenings. That'd be pretty cool.
I, I guess they could. Yeah,
If you
yeah.
go to the
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Dostoevsky section, it's like, oh, let's go to Dostoevsky,
Mm-hmm.
see who's hanging around in that section.
All right. So okay. So as I'm thinking about it, and I'm going to one of your single nights
Yes,
at the
yes,
bookstore, I'm going right. Well, I have a priority of sections that I want to hang out in. Right.
yes,
So the
yeah,
most
yeah,
important thing, I'll be right. Let's go and hang
yeah,
out in the experimental cooking section, right, and see who's there.
yeah,
No one. Well, let's go down the list. I want to go to
yeah,
like, I don't know, sort of the graphic novel
yeah.
section. All right,
But
then
how,
then,
when
then
you
you go
say
and
go
check out
down,
the action. Well,
yes,
it could be
I would do
several
that.
stairs.
I do like the graphic novel section. But how desperate did you go? When you say go down the list, you're saying down the list in terms of level, potential intellectual level.
No,
Could you go
no, I
down the
mean
list
like,
until you got to like Enid
well,
Blyton
not.
books?
I was really thinking about it as like as my interest. So if I'm looking for a partner, I want to hang out in
Okay.
the sections where I'm most interested in, and then I go into
Yes,
the
yes. But
sections that would
could you
like
potentially get a
be
bit
less and
desperate
less.
and go to like a section you think, oh God,
Oh yeah.
oh let's okay.
And
Okay.
you're
Depends
thinking,
how long you've
okay,
been
right,
single.
well, perhaps I have to go to the kind of toddler section books and see
Yeah.
if there's any women who
Ladybird.
want to be mums.
Ladybird books.
Yeah.
Although the kids' books are so cool
Mm-hmm.
now. They weren't anywhere
Well,
near. I'm
they
so
were
envious of
always
kids
cool.
now. The best books now for kids. They're so good.
Right. No, I mean, they have always been at the forefront of the printing technology. Like, I can remember being at art college and, they would say, or someone said, look, if you want to know what how good printing is, go to the kids section
Really?
of
I've
a
never heard of that.
bookstore and you will see the best printing techniques will be there. Like all the die cuts,
Really?
all the fold outs, all the
Oh, pop
yeah. No,
ups.
that's where pop
Right.
ups. Yep,
That's where all the action is.
that's where that is where the printing action is always.
Okay.
If you're
I got
interested
sent
in
about
that kind of
two
thing.
years ago a book. Actually, he was the first guest on our podcast, Jonathan. He sent me a children's book about it was a children's book, so it's meant
All
to
right.
like for like 4 to 7 year olds on, and it's a children's book about hugging the angry part of yourself, giving yourself a hug, your angry part of
Was it a
yourself.
hint?
Yeah, I think it was a hint. Yes, Paul, take a chill pill. So yeah, okay.
I can remember. I just rolled over to the bookcase behind me. Like
Yeah.
I was working at a company and we had a new CEO, and she bought everyone a book, and it was just it just appeared on my desk when I came into to work, and this is what it was, which is holding up to the
Okay.
camera. It's like what do you do with an idea? So there you
Okay.
go. I still have it.
Is it good? Have you ever
She
read
didn't
it?
sign it though. I notice. No, because because
Because you're
because
ADHD,
if
and
a
if someone
CEO of a
offers you,
company gives
yeah,
me a book
yeah,
and it says, "What do you do with an idea?" and my job is
just
to
like
do
yeah,
things with ideas, It's like she's telling me
It
what
should be the
my
other way
job.
round. You should
So I
be
was like,
giving her the
screw
book.
you.
Yeah. Do you
Okay,
not
damn
find
right.
though that if someone buys you a book or someone suggests you see a film or follow a podcast or whatever, you don't do it, right?
Pathological demand of pathological demand avoidance. Yes,
Yes,
that's a
that's me.
thing.
If someone suggests
I
something,
know.
it'll be
Yeah,
pretty
that's
likely I wouldn't
exactly
do
it.
it. It's totally me.
Yeah, I will never see
But
that film
but I
ever.
think you're this. I think it's a bit of you. It's like the amount of times I've suggested to you to watch
Yeah, I
something.
am.
I send you a link in the middle of the night. Martin, you've got to go and watch this,
Right,
please. You don't,
right.
right? So,
Well,
right.
if it's short, I will. But if it's like a
Okay.
1.5 hour lecture, then I'm like,
Yes.
I has to be like a minute.
Right. Yes, but I think I sent you something once, and I
Oh
said, "Oh,
boy.
don't worry, mate. You don't have to watch the whole
All
thing.
right.
Just go straight to the 19th minute and the 52 second point, and just watch it for 2 minutes."
All right. Enough.
Yeah,
Okay. Enough
and
failed.
it's like drift.
Clearly.
It's like tumbleweed.
Clearly that's what happened.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. I'm very much like
fucking
that.
hell.
Okay, are we
Yeah,
finished with the
so
sensory bit,
we
or
aren't going to be suggesting any books. Yeah, I think we can move on to books. Books in our
yeah?
books at various stages of our personage, of our being aliveness. All
Yes.
right.
Do
Do
you
you want
want
to
to start? What
start
about?
off?
Well, I can remember when I was, I think my earliest memory of books. Well, I remember being deeply, deeply dissatisfied with Enid Blyton and Ladybird books. I think even then I was like subconsciously aware that there.
Deeply unsatisfied.
I was subconsciously aware even at that time that, oh, these are books for like, neuro beige people. They're not meant for me, and they were just stupid.
All
You
right.
know,
Yeah.
Enid Blyton books, they've just been, now you read them, that are deeply racist and sexist and are just horrible things. But then I do
Right. So
remember,
Enid Blyton books, for anyone who doesn't know, is
yeah,
about 4 or 5 kids. They were written in like, I don't know,
mhm.
feels like the 30s, 40s, somewhere around there.
I think 40s
And
or 40s,
they just went
50s.
on adventures in the countryside.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
very
Sort of privileged
classist,
white kids
racist,
on
and
an
yeah,
adventure with their dog.
they were really crap. They were called the Famous Five.
So that's
And,
your.
and they were just like, oh man! But I never read that stuff.
Oh,
I
that's
used to
right.
read
I
stuff
mean,
like the
I try to
Rupert
think of.
Bear manuals. Do you remember Rupert Bear?
Yep.
There was like the character Rupert Bear that
Oh,
was really kind of,
Rupert Bear, who was a. I didn't like Rupert the Bear.
yeah, I
He wore a very distinctive, like, yellow checkered
yeah,
scarf and red
yeah,
jumpsuit, possibly.
yeah. I didn't
And
like
he
him, but
went
he had a
on adventures,
sidekick.
and he annoyed
He-
me.
Yeah, I didn't like Rupert the Bear. I liked his
You
sidekick.
did.
His sidekick was a little bit mischievous and a bit weird, right?
All right.
And there was a part in one of the stories about
I
him
don't know.
where he
I
finds
don't
a
know.
secret library. And to this day,
Yes.
I'm fascinated by this little secret library that he
Oh.
found in this little nook
Okay.
that he found that was really small that most people just walked straight past and didn't realize existed. And it's like this secret little nook in a library that I just love the idea of.
Mm,
Yeah.
nice.
How about you, Martin? So, like,
All
earliest
right.
memories of
My
books.
my Is that your earliest book? You know what? It's funny because I don't
Earliest, I
remember
think
having
so.
toddler books, but that's probably
I
because.
rem-
So
I remember a book about a new color,
I
and I've been obsessed with it ever since. It's a book about someone who
oh
discovered a new color. I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" It just
right.
completely ignited my imagination, and I've been trying to find it all these years. So if anyone out there knows what it is, just let me know. I've looked for it several
What
times.
this what
It's
the book or
a book.
the
It's a book
color?
about someone who discovers a new color. I've never
All right.
found it. Yeah.
All right.
I think that's the earliest thing I can
If you know what
remember.
it is, let us know. Um. All right. I remember that this is going to shock you, Paul. This is going
Okay.
to shock
Blimey.
you to the core.
All right.
My first book that I
I'm
actually
bracing myself.
remember was my. There's a couple, but there's two that I can skip through really quickly. Which is I had a dinosaur book that I used to read, and I used to get into bed, and then I would try and read it and see if I could get to the end of the book before I fell asleep. So there was
Right.
that. I also had a book about about rocks and
Okay.
had some really nice pictures of crystals and that was
How
it was
interesting.
it was like a nice little reference book for grown-up people.
Right.
That was nice.
What
But
age are you talking about? What age are you
but the
talking
earliest
about?
books
Like
I remember
5?
was the well, so our first section is early childhood, right? Which is like
Yeah.
0
Okay.
to 10, somewhere around there, right?
Okay.
That kind of
All right.
early. So I was about 6
Oh,
or so.
early. Okay. Okay.
Um, but my mum had 2 books. Yeah, yeah. We had two two books. One was the red book, sorry, the green book and the blue book. They were big, huge books, and these were nursing books because my mum was a nurse, and these were her reference material, I
Right.
guess. And basically, it was 2 books of of diseases and things that can go wrong with
Blimey.
with you, and it
With pictures.
had like color plate images
Oh,
of
no.
infections and
Oh, God,
and
yes.
that's what that's what the earliest book that I read that was burnt into my skull was like these
My
color
God.
plate images from so these would be um color uh, color painted on black and white photography images that were done in
Okay.
like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
probably like the 40s, somewhere
Yes.
around there. um and that was like horrific. And from there I kind of thought, oh, wow, there are hundreds of ways to kind of to end up dead, right? There are
Yeah,
hundreds
yeah,
and
yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of ways to end up dead. I am bound to get at least half of these, surely. Kind of thought, yeah. So those are my earliest
Amazing.
books. Quite
Okay.
disturbing, to be honest.
There we go. So yeah, so let's move on to like pre-teeny kind of
Yeah,
time. Okay. This one's an
yeah,
easy one for me. I've got down Roald Dahl right there. That was a big thing for me. My world was blown apart by Roald Dahl.
nice. I do like his books.
Marvelous Medicine. And when
Mm-hmm.
you started talking about, there's a section, I've got it written here, section where George says, "Yes, Grandma," George said. George couldn't help disliking Grandma. She was a selfish, grumpy old woman. She had pale brown teeth and a small, puckered up mouth like a dog's bottom. I was like, yes, come on. Come on.
Finally,
That's what I've been looking for all my life.
this this book speaks my language.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
Oh, that yeah,
around the
that
same time, I won a
yes.
book through the book club. So there was a book club with a travelling library. There's like a coach had been
All right.
renovated and like turned into a travelling library, and you'd pitch up and you could order books, but it would like take forever. It would take about 2 months for them to arrive, the books. And then one day,
Mm-hmm.
I won a prize for the best drawing in my year, and I won a book about mollusks.
Yes, that's
Yes.
what every childhood boy dreams of.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
book of
I was
mollusks.
so proud of that.
Who are you, Charles Darwin?
So
That's
did you have
fucking
a travelling
hilarious.
library kind of thing going on?
Well, I mean, our school had its own library.
Uh-huh.
Did your school not have a library?
A small one.
All
But
right.
if you needed to put something niche, like something to do with mollusks, you had to order them.
you had to win a competition for it.
Yeah. But if you didn't want to borrow them,
I
you
can
wanted to
remember.
buy them. You know, if you wanted to buy them, because so the library,
Yeah.
it was a library, but it was also a method with which you could buy books as well, order them and buy them.
Yes, I did buy a book, which was about ancient beasts. So it was like sort of it was
Mollusks.
myths. No, it wasn't as interesting as a book about mollusks, Paul.
Okay,
It was
I'm
it was
sorry.
it was only on sort of mythical
Only.
monsters. So
Okay, all right,
not as exciting as
right. But you could do
as a
mythical
tome.
monsters and mollusks all in one book.
Whoa, my tiny little fragile young mind couldn't cope with that
Right.
much excitement, Paul. Um, I did really like books. Like I think that was the age where you kind of really get into books, right? Is you suddenly like, I don't know, I feel like I was switched on at that point. So I can remember like I read the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Of course,
That's
yeah.
that's when I read all of that lot, and I really liked Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Restaurant at the End of
Yeah.
the Universe. So I really liked like science fiction and fantasy was kind of good, which was good because it was like, oh, books, you can escape from your
Yeah,
sucky world into
yeah.
the world of the mollusk
Yes. Or
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 Lord of the
or
Rings.
or Malcolm's Marvelous Medicine. Yeah, that's what Roald Dahl did for me. He opened up my imagination. Like, oh my god, it's like a whole new world
Yeah,
of potential. You know.
right. It because I was thinking about this and it was like normally if you wanted to kind of like escape, right, you would like watch the TV, but that
Yeah.
was like a family affair. You would all sit around on the
Yes.
couch or whatever and you'd all
Yeah.
watch the TV. It wasn't a private little world that
Wasn't
you could go
intimate.
to, whereas books kind of
Yeah.
whereas books kind of opened up that
Totally.
your own little private universe, which was very nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So so then onwards to
Onwards.
what the
Well,
last
more
adult, I
recent.
guess.
adult, yeah. I mean, I got much more into non-fiction as an adult. Still am. I
Mm-hmm.
went through a phase of I just like went down a rabbit hole of Chinese revolution, communist revolution history
Oh yeah,
books.
I remember. I remember you reading some ginormous book about Chairman
Yeah,
Mao,
yes, Mao's
and
secret,
then
like the
and then
secret
every
life of
time I came
yeah,
over,
right.
it
I
would
was
be you would be like, "Did you know, Martin,
yeah,
that Chairman Mao
that
never
sounds
brushed his
like
teeth?"
me. Yes, his teeth were full
Yeah,
of pus. Yeah, that sounds a lot
yeah.
like me
I,
because that's the
I,
thing. It's intimate, and I go down a rabbit hole, on Mao Zedong or the Chinese Communist Revolution. But I wanted desperately to share it with everyone. Turns out most people aren't
mm-hmm.
interested in
Oh yes,
Chairman Mao's dentistry. Shock!
I remember.
Flash
Yes,
news.
I do remember that was always the thing for a while, was going around
Yeah.
seeing you and getting random Chairman Mao
Oh.
facts. Um, but they were
Oh God.
but they were
Oh,
but interesting facts. So
thanks, mate.
so it was, yeah, it was fine. It was funny.
Did you
Oh
change
yeah, yeah,
genres?
yeah.
Are you a non-fiction man?
I am both, so I would basically
Mm,
flit between like history, which
yeah.
I do love history books. I still I will still I'm still really into history, and I would also go into like fiction as well. So
Mm,
this is my Terry Pratchett a moment, where I kind of I discovered Terry Pratchett books,
okay.
and I loved them, and I bought them every year. I've read practically all. No, I have read all of his Discworld books, of which
Right.
there are
Right.
many books.
I've never
Yeah,
read Terry
he's
Pratchett.
great. I love him. Oh, he's like the well. Obviously, if I say go away and read a Terry Pratchett book, you'll be
I
like,
won't.
"Fuck off, mate."
Yeah.
I'm I'm not I'm not going to read any of his goddamn books.
Right.
But yeah, I loved it. I mean, he has written a lot of books, and he died about 10 years ago, and
Mhm.
I was saving his last book for ages, right?
Right.
So he knew it's going to be his last book, so I was like, okay, right.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
ended
'cause
up
it's quite public, wasn't
I
it?
ended up
He knew he was
reading.
gonna die. He had a
Yeah,
terminal
yeah, yeah.
illness, so it was
So I
quite
was like,
public.
God,
Yeah.
once I read his last book, that's it, right? So I ended
Yeah.
up, I read all of the other Discworld books. So I went back to the beginning and I read all the
Did
Discworld
you?
books all the way up to the last one. Yeah,
How
yeah.
many are
Took
there?
me fucking ages.
How many books are there?
Oh, how many Discworld books are there? And now I'm gonna have to go onto the old how
'Cause
many
I always thought I've heard of them. I thought it
Discworld
was like
books
2 or
are there?
3.
There are 41.
No. Blimey.
Mm-hmm.
I heard recently
Each
that
one funnier
he
than the
he
last.
never had an he never when he started writing a book, he never had a clue what was gonna happen. He had no plan for his books at all.
Right.
He just started
No.
writing.
Yeah, that they are. He would have an idea and then just start to write, which is, and it's interesting. Just, like when you go through a body of work of an author like that, you kind of see how they put the things together and how they
Yeah.
evolve. How
Mhm. Pattern
yeah, no,
recognition.
he's so anyway, yes, I read all the books, and then I read the last one, the Shepherd's Crown, and that was like and that killed me to kind of get to the end of the
Right.
last book and go, that's
Yeah.
it.
I get
There's
that.
no
Totally
more
get that.
Terry Pratchett after this.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
Biography. I really like a
I know,
biography,
I know.
autobiography.
Oh yeah, I, I haven't read many. Other
No.
people's lives. I don't know. And yeah,
Other people's lives.
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
You should read one of the best autobiographies I've ever written was Sidney Poitier's autobiography. It is absolutely
All
mental.
right.
First successful black actor in the Afro-American actor. Amazing book. Anyway.
All right.
Okay.
Have you ever picked up a book in IKEA? You know, like when you kind of go into IKEA and you sit in their little funny pretend lounges,
Yeah.
and they have books lying around.
Yeah.
Have you ever picked one up and
No.
then had a look,
No.
and they're
They're
in
blank.
Swedish, and you go, oh no, they are
Nice.
real books.
Oh,
They are
okay.
real actual books, and they're all Swedish.
Nice.
And I go, oh, I can't read this.
Yeah.
And I have
Probably
to
the most
put
difficult
it down.
language in the world. One of the most difficult. Yeah.
Blimey.
Now my situation is I've got probably up to 30 books waiting to be read, and I've banned myself from ordering any
Oh
more
my.
books.
Mm-hmm. I have 3 books, I guess, that are in various states of being read. You know what? I find it as I've got older, I've forgotten how to read.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've
It takes a while,
forgotten
doesn't it?
how to actually read a long
Yeah.
format like a book.
Yes. Which
And I
is
find it hard. I find it harder now than I did then.
I like the idea of getting back into that to the extent where I've played with the idea, Martin. This is the way my stupid ADHD mind
Mm-hmm.
works. Play with the idea of buy myself a really really good comfortable armchair to
Mm-hmm.
push myself into reading books again. Pick the
Right.
logic out of that.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds nice. Yeah, yeah. I do have a nice leather armchair, which would be a
Yeah.
good book reading thing. But my brain. I mean, so I do audiobooks now. I mean, that's how I basically
Mm.
consume books because
I've never really got into
I
that.
can use it to do all my boring ADHD tasks. So if I have to do laundry or I'm cleaning,
Okay.
any of that stuff, I put an audio book on, got my headphones on, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll just listen
Okay.
to this book while I'm
Yeah.
doing this other
Okay.
boring task. I mean, that's just, I can zip through books like, so one book so in a week, I can read about 2 or 3 books,
Really?
basically.
Blimey. Have you ever tried a
Burn
Kindle?
through them like, no, no.
I did.
You
Didn't
know
work
what?
for me.
And I think it's, yeah, there's something about the texture of a book. Like if I'm going to
Yeah.
sit there and look at a book,
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
the smell of the paper.
Well, you could do
I want to
that.
feel it.
There's a company, I've got it written down there. This is a great segue. It's such a good segue. I'm almost embarrassed. There's some bookshops and publishers have tried replicating the old book smell in candles, perfumes, and air fresheners, but probably they've never really
Mm,
hit the
okay.
mark. But you could do it, I'm sure.
Oh, I don't know.
You could have a Kindle,
Yeah,
but have a candle burning
absolutely.
and pretend you're reading a real book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what?
Okay.
One thing I find difficult about books is I'll read a paragraph and then I'll kind of forget, or I'll get distracted, and then I have to go back to it, and then I have to reread that paragraph again, and I'll
Yeah,
get
that's it.
distracted, and then I'll end
Exactly.
up reading that paragraph another time.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ, it's going
yeah,
to take me forever.
yeah.
And
Okay.
you know what? Did you know, Paul? Did you know, Paul? There is a like sort of, you're into typography, right?
Yes.
There's a thing where there is a dyslexic font. There's a font that's been specially
Really?
designed to make it easier to read. Yeah, it's called what is it called? It's called something like where is it? I think I had it written down somewhere. But yeah, it's called dyslexy.
Okay.
And
I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
it's supposed to help. So it's a sans serif. So get slightly technical. So it's a sans serif font.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't have those little extra bits of information, and it's almost like the ascenders and the descenders kind of go from thin to thick. So it almost has
Okay.
like a bit of a cartoon.
Oh,
It has
how
almost like a
bizarre.
cartoony brush script
That's
style to it.
amazing. I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
Oh, I might have to go
yeah,
down a rabbit
yeah,
hole on that.
yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Like that. Okay. Well, I
All
think
right.
I'm pretty much there. If we want to, where are you at? You got anything
I
left?
will say, I will just a couple of interesting things I about stories, and that was um, y- um, the grim fairy tales, and
Yeah.
all of that, and all of those stories, just kind of going back to when we were young. And I came across this thing about Beauty and the Beast, which was like a Disney film, came out in like
Mm-hmm.
1991. How old do you think that story is?
Well, it's from the Grimm brothers who
Have a
aren't they
guess.
Danish? It's Danish, isn't it? The Grimm
I
brothers
don't
were
know. I don't
Danish.
know.
I'm guessing it's really freaking old. I think it's about 300 years old. No, less. 200 years old.
It's actually about 4,000 years old. That
Okay,
story.
right. Okay.
So
Wow.
there's this. There are scholars who have looked at all the all these kind of these stories, and they've matched them up with other stories from across the world, and they can see where stories
Okay.
overlap a lot, right? So you might have
Yes.
Beauty and the Beast, and you have like a very similar Beauty and the Beast story, and you can go back in time until you can find
Mm-hmm.
like the earliest version of that story, and they've gone back to 4,000 years ago. So
Wow. That's
all of
interesting.
those stories are really old. Like Jack and the Beanstalk goes back about 5,000 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's like sort of
Well,
that's like
this, that's
that's like
that's because
Bronze Age.
storytelling is basically, I was listening to a podcast only last night. Great episode by we were just talking before we came on air. The podcast by Blind Boy is fantastic. He was talking to a storytelling specialist, great lady. She's Irish, and she was talking about the history of storytelling and how important storytelling is to human being, as you know, a very being,
Hmm.
is, you know, how important storytelling is within our social environment. And really very cool. and how far back it goes, as you were saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Stories of as long as we've had language, we've had stories.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's crack on. I think. Let's jump in in our old tractor, and make our way over to Alexandra's haunted inn.
Yes.
Get in, get in, get in.
Come on. Crank her up. Tractor, I mean, not Alexandra.
Alexandra's haunted inn, and she's left a note about last week's episode, which was about telephones and telephone calls.
Yes.
And yeah, she did remind us that that in the early days when we were just boys and girls, you had to be at home to receive or make a phone call. Nowadays, so many people call you all the time. Exactly. It was like you only got bugged at home.
Yes.
You didn't get bugged everywhere.
It's a good point. A very good point. Yeah.
I kind of like that aspect of it, although it did make things. You know what? The hard thing was always if, and I can remember a time when we were going to meet at the British Museum in London, and we didn't have phones. Said, right, well, I'm going to meet you there at, I don't know, like 10 a.m. or something. And I was running late, and I couldn't phone you to tell you I'm running late because we didn't have phones. You just had to stand there and wait until I suddenly popped up.
That just reminded me. Do you remember we used to ring? We used to have the speaking clock. You used to call a number, and you'd get the time.
I know. In fact, they only stopped doing it.
That?
I don't know. Perhaps there is. Perhaps it's still going. I don't know. At the
that
third
would be
stroke,
so cool if
it
it
will
still
be
exists.
2:15
Yes.
precisely.
Okay.
I would phone up the speaking clock once in a while, just to hear it. Weirdly. All right.
So anyway,
And
so
this is the
feedback.
part where you say,
this is a bit where I say your feedback is really vital to us, and come on, give us your feedback, comments, whatever you want to say. Could be any suggestions you got for next week's podcast episode, which Martin's going to tell us about now.
"Ooh,
For example,
well, I thought next week we will talk about we will be seasonal, seeing as we're recording this at the beginning of October, and we will talk about ADHD and autumn, and all the sensory lovely that comes with that time of year.
Roasted chestnuts, for example.
Roasted chestnuts. Exactly. And it's also like a time just after the summer holidays or the summer vacations when everyone's back, that you have this little window when you feel pressured done before Thanksgiving hits. So it is a kind of an interesting little time of year. All right, so that just leaves me to say ADHDville is delivered fresh every Tuesday to all purveyors of fine podcasts. Please subscribe to the pod and rate us most well read, and feel free to correspond at will in the comments. But wait, if you wish to see our beautiful faces, then sally forth to the YouTubes and the TikToks. And you can also pick up a quill and email us at ADHDville@gmail.com. But in the meantime, be fucking kind to yourself.
And I beseech you, fellow ADHD, fare thee well with gladness of heart.
And that's the end of that book, of that chapter.
There, says the mayor.
Bom,
That's
bom,
that.
bom, bom.